Hey adventurers!
Hi!
So today I'm on my way to a work training thing in a little town called Auburn, Washington. So Auburn is southeast of Seattle, and because I had to come for a training for work, we decided maybe we should just make a kind of a half weekend of it and stay near the area for the night and tour Auburn, because honestly I've never heard of it before. Have you?
Where the heck is Auburn?
Yeah, no clue. And I've asked a couple other people and they haven't heard of Auburn either. So this is our first time coming to Auburn.
We're going to make it famous.
Yeah, yes, exactly. After my training, we're going to get some lunch and then kind of do as much adventuring as we possibly can. I'm excited. Auburn looks like it's got some fun things to do and some interesting restaurants. So come with us and let's see what Auburn is all about, because who knew? So as it turns out, my training this morning was canceled. We got over to the Green River College and apparently there was no one there to let the group in, so they canceled the whole training. So that means that we have more time to explore Auburn and have some fun today. One of the things that I was hoping we could do, but we weren't going to have a chance to do, is check out the Botanical Gardens. It's called Seuss Creek Botanical Gardens. And it's open, let's see, Wednesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. On the drive-in, it looks like it's really pretty, lots of flowers. First impressions about Auburn, what'd you think?
Tiny, but we did drive down Main Street. It was cute, so I'm looking forward to really exploring this little place.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a bit like a commuter town, or
for Seattle. There
appear to be things to do here, so we're just going to see what we can find. And so far, we're starting out with the Botanical Garden. I think that it's free. We're going to go over to the information booth and see what we can find out. They have a plant sale, so they sell plants here as well. Okay, so tell me about these botanical gardens.
It looks like it was started by a guy named Ezra Meeker. Ezra Meeker from Scandinavia. Where's he from? I can't remember now.
So Mom doesn't really know anything about this place, even though she's the one that read the thing about it.
I read the whole thing and it's gone. It's already gone. I started looking at flowers. They're so beautiful.
Everything is flown out of her brain. So let's make up a story. There was a man named Ezra Meeker, and he actually originally...
Immigrant.
Yeah, and he actually owned a circus at one point. And
no, it has something to do with plants. Oh, the hops.
And there was this one elephant.
He's from a place in Scandinavia that has
He
hops.
had an elephant that had really large ears, and when it had a feather in its nose, in its trunk, it was able to fly. And Ezra made so much money off of this amazing elephant.
Are you
all
recording?
he wanted was to be able to go back to his mom, this elephant. And
You're such a brat. I never got to see that movie yet. You're giving it away.
Dumbo.
I know. I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen Dumbo.
The new one that came out.
Well, yeah, but it's the same as the old one.
You saw it, and I didn't get to see it.
It's not any different than there's a peacock.
They do have a fowl garden here. I mean,
that garden is so foul.
Louis Christensen Aviary. Stop
Aviary.
by the aviary. Listen to the soft sounds of the doves. Enjoy the peafowl, cockatiels, and parakeets. Oops, that's not a parakeet.
Now that is a lot of foxglove. I'm going to definitely link my San Francisco video so you can understand the importance of staying clear of foxglove.
They're so pretty.
They are
Look
so
at all the
pretty.
colors and but don't touch them.
So this is the Wildflower Prairie Meadow Garden. Look at these poppies. Oh, I love those.
It was a long hike up and down little
Not a long hike, but it's
for an old lady like me.
It was a bit of a walk to get over here to the prairie meadow.
But it's actually gorgeous, so I'm glad I made it. But it's starting to warm up today. It's supposed to get like 78 here in Auburn today, so we dress light, but I'm sweating from my walk.
Yeah, and we're used to Bellingham where the average temperature at this time of the year is like 65. So
And it feels good.
Mom's getting a little overheated.
Yeah, I need my sweatband.
But the path to come over here is a little narrow. There was a bit muddy,
Yeah,
and
a
it's a
couple
little
spots.
overgrown in a couple spots. So, make sure you have some decent shoes when you come. If you
Sandals
decide
won't cut it,
to
yeah.
walk out here to the meadow. So we're having lunch at Bell and Pupuseria, and it is an El Salvadorian restaurant. It's a little small, but it's got really, really good reviews, and we're excited. A pupusa is like a flat stuffed tortilla. The one we're getting it has cheese and loroco, which is a type of edible flower. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but it looks kind of like maybe one of those squash blossoms is maybe a guess. We're also gonna get the huaraches, which I'm not quite sure what that is either. So, and we got some what do you call it? Horchata. Delicious. All right, so we just had lunch at Bell and Pupuseria. And what'd you think, Mom?
The service was slow, and it turned out not to be as flavorful as I thought it would be.
Yeah, so maybe not the most memorable meal. I know in the past when I've had El Salvadorian food, it was very flavorful and delicious, and this just wasn't quite as. And, it could just be that
Our expectations were high, and our experience was lower than that.
right. So I don't want to say anything terrible about them
No,
because
it's got
it
good
wasn't awful,
reviews.
and it has good reviews, and maybe our experience was just different, but we just didn't find it as flavorful as we would have liked. Now we're going to go over to the Neely Mansion, which I think is open only from 1 to 4. I'm not quite sure what it's all about, so we'll give you some more details when we get there. Here's our first view of the Neely Mansion. Doesn't look very mansion-y. Looks pretty though, like kind of a cool house.
Oh, this is the baby.
Okay, so I didn't get too much footage inside the house because
They ask you not to
Film.
publish a lot of it because they want you to come out here and see it for yourself. They were fine taking pictures. They just don't want to see it all over Facebook.
yeah, they
and-
didn't mind us filming even, just as long as we didn't film the whole
thing.
tour, because they want you to come out here, and I agree with that. And it was wonderful. It was owned by 5 different families. The Neely family first, and they owned it, but then they started renting it out to first a Japanese family called
the
Gallies.
Gallies.
The Gallies,
Swedish.
yeah, a Swedish family. And they wanted to buy the property, but the Neelys weren't willing to sell because they wanted to save it for their family. So then after the Gallies, they rented it to the Fukuda family.
Japanese family.
There was a lot of Japanese farmers here during that time, and I think so. They built the house in 1840. Was it 1840s?
Yeah, somewhere. I can't remember. We
Yes, I
probably
think
have
I
it
think they
somewhere.
built the house like in the 1840s, and then they rented it to the Gali family. The Fukudas took over the house in the
1914.
to 1929.
And then they moved.
Yeah, and then the Hori family,
Hori
which is
family,
another Japanese farming
took
family.
over it, and they were there till 1940.
Mhm.
They didn't get interned out of this house, but they had moved into town and got interned.
And both families actually were interned during the internment period
World War
for.
II.
And then finally there was the Acosta family, which was a Filipino family that took over.
They farmed the whole property.
So those 5 families here, and then it was really, the house was in really bad shape for a long time. Apparently the Japanese bathhouse that the Hori family built was moved all over the property, and they didn't even really, they kind of used it for different purposes. So this group has come together to restore the house, and they've done a beautiful job. And they also did an incredible job of restoring the Japanese bathhouse, which is like one of the only ones in the
Washington
area.
State,
Yeah.
probably.
It was so rickety. It's one, we wanted to pour a concrete floor. Bathhouse typically has slats, so the water just rushes through. Yeah. So a bathhouse, you don't take a bath in there, you soak in there. So you wash up the whole
Get
family.
all clean before
Yeah,
you
get
go
all
in.
clean and then you soak.
So we really enjoyed the tour. We had a great time. The women were very friendly. What's nice about this place is they have a ton of events. So if you get on their Facebook page. You can find out the different events they have. They do like Mother's Day events and just all kinds of teas.
The tour is about, it does suggest $5 for adults and $3 for children.
Right. It is
donation.
It's free, but they suggest a donation because they've put a lot of money into restoring the house.
Is to help restore.
The last person we were talking to, Carol, she's not only the president of the restoration group, but she's also the master gardener here. And they've worked really hard to try and restore the types of gardens that would have been around here during the period of the Neelys.
We highly recommend this tour. It was just a great stop.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Apparently this is called lovage, and the stems are hollow, and this would be a great straw for Bloody Mary because it has a celery flavor. It looks like gigantic celery. We love Bloody Marys. This would be awesome to use as a straw for Bloody Mary.
The alcohol evaporates and it rises up through there, crosses over here, condenses in this tank, and then runs it out here like a faucet.
Okay.
So with the whiskeys, that's all we do to them.
Uh-huh.
They'll either go into a barrel to make one of the aged versions, or we'll put them right into a bottle as white whiskey. One's been in the barrel for a little over a year.
1 year.
Okay.
And this one was 2.5 years.
Oh, 2.5 years, okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. Can I try those?
Of course. But yeah, so like with the white whiskey, you just don't have like the oakiness and the.
Okay, because it's
some of the
just
other
straight.
flavors. That way, but you know.
So what is it you're drinking?
This is the white whiskey, 110 proof.
And it hasn't been distilled.
No.
No, it has. It's just it's not
It's not
aged.
aged.
Yeah, that's unaged.
Your mom knows nothing about this stuff.
That is true. Oh wow. Oh, I like the flavor of that though.
And then the still over there is our vodka still.
Oh, okay.
So when we put stuff in there, it goes from 120 proof up to 190 proof. So it's 95% alcohol, and there's very little water. I really like that area. But anyway, so there's very little water, and the more you distill it, the less flavor it has.
Okay.
So our vodka, we only distill, most of it is only distilled twice, so it comes out of the big still and then goes through the vodka still.
Okay.
So it actually still has a little bit of flavor and a little bit of sweetness.
Okay, so this is the bourbon. Oh, that's good. That's really good bourbon. Okay.
I'm trying the straight bourbon. It's been aged for at least 2.5 years, so let's go for it.
Whoa, that was not try. That was a gulp.
I like it.
Which is surprising because you usually like sweet.
I do like. There is a sweet taste in there.
Yeah,
There's a
there
little
is.
bit of sweet.
It's a Northern European style liquor.
Oh.
So it's our vodka with caraway and anise.
Oh.
So it tastes like a little bit like black licorice.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, I want to try that then.
Do you want to try any of the liqueurs?
I would like to try the rhubarb liqueur.
Yeah, that's the one I think we want to try.
But you're known for your coffee liqueur, you said, right?
The coffee and the chocolate are really popular.
Big.
Apple pie flavored whiskey?
Yeah, that one's another. Yeah, that one.
Really
It's
popular
just
one?
low, yeah. It's not necessarily popular right now. Like it's more popular around
The holidays.
Christmas,
Yeah, that makes sense.
because it's really good in just a couple shots of spice cider.
Oh, yeah, that sounds really good.
So you do make a lot of stuff.
This is
for
the
a
rhubarb
small
liqueur.
operation, huh?
We make some of these things we haven't actually made for 2 or 3 years.
You just have more leftovers.
Yeah, it just slowly we just slowly sell it because we're focused on these, which we go through a lot of.
Okay.
So.
All right, so we just finished our tastings at Blackfish Distillery. And what did you think?
It was really fun. They had so much to try. They had bourbons and whiskey and gin and liqueurs.
And they had vodka and rum and tons of different liqueurs. They had aquavit, which is something I've heard of, but I've never actually tried or seen. And Mom's never heard of it. Have you? Aquavit?
I thought it was water. But
That's aqua.
It actually has anise and
Caraway. Anise and
seed.
caraway.
And actually, I really liked it.
Yeah, that was really, had a very licoricey flavor, but not
Too much, because
Yeah.
I'm not a big black licorice flavor.
Yeah, I like
But
licorice.
this actually, I could taste the black licorice, but it wasn't overpowering, and it was a good taste.
Two sons are the distillers, and then the father goes out and
He works with a distributor to get their liqueur out in the market.
yeah, and they said actually because they're one of the only distilleries in this local area, they're doing pretty well in the restaurants and whatnot. And I think that's pretty cool for them. And
They said all the way up to Seattle.
yeah, oh, That's great.
Oh, Seattle's close.
yeah, it's not.
But they sail from Puyallup to
Yeah.
Seattle.
They're very, very nice people. It was very nice of them to take us in the back and show us the distilling process.
Yes.
And they let us try pretty much all of the, 15 different types of alcohol they
It was
had.
good.
So I highly recommend it if you're here in Auburn. Check out Blackfish Spirits Distillery. We are going to go check into our Airbnb now, and then who knows what's next. I think there might be a cemetery in our future. Here is the view of Mount Rainier from Auburn. We're just heading out of Auburn to we're staying in a place in Parkland. But look at that view. Pretty amazing. Well, maybe not the cars on the freeway. So we just had dinner at Bella's Wine Barn Bistro, and all. I've got to be honest with you, I just didn't feel like filming dinner tonight, so I took some pictures. It was a wonderful dinner. Did you enjoy it?
It was so relaxing, and the food actually was delicious.
Yeah.
And I felt good.
Yeah, from the sound of it, we didn't really talk with the owner too much, but we heard him talking to some of the people around us. It's a newer business. It's a husband and wife team. The wife cooks, and he's running the business, it appears. And they have really good service. They
We
know
sat
each
out
other.
on the patio, and everybody, your tables are close together. You could talk to the people around you. It was fun.
Yeah, and people were very friendly.
Yeah, I did.
So the sun is going down. It is about 9 o'clock. We're going to attempt to get over to the Auburn Pioneer Cemetery and see what we can see. I know it's a little late, but we actually ended up spending like 2 or 3 hours chatting with our Airbnb hosts when we got to their place.
They were so nice.
Yeah, we just clicked with them. So kind of rushing to get to the cemetery at this point, but I think it's open at all hours, so it shouldn't be a problem to go there at any time. Even the website says we leave the gate open for visitors' convenience. So that's kind of strange. It's kind of scary to go at night, but we'll see if we find any ghosts. And if we can learn anything about the Auburn Pioneer Cemetery. This area had a very large Japanese farming community, and quite a few of the families that are buried in this Auburn Pioneer Cemetery were the Japanese families that were living in this area. They very rarely bury anybody else in this cemetery nowadays, but it happens on occasion. So it looks like here at Auburn Cemetery, the Pioneer Cemetery, you can park in the parking lot until 10 p.m. It's right across the street from Fred Meyer's, which is kind of funny. And it's a very small little cemetery, but here it is.
1876.
Whoops. There's steps there that I didn't notice. 1876? Watch your step. Omura, Japanese family. So here's a little historical board. History of Japanese immigration in the Buddhist temple. So this is Chiyokichi Natsuhara, and he was the person creating this Pioneer Cemetery. And even when he was interned during the forcible incarceration camps during the time after World War II, he was still collecting donations from the different Japanese families so that they were able to put the remains of their families in this cemetery when they passed. So that's incredible. Such dedication. It's nice to learn about the history for the Japanese Americans in this area and how they handled their burials. Basically a legacy. It was the largest farming community I think in the 1800s. So it's nice to see this time capsule showing in homage to the Japanese American farmers that were a huge part of the Auburn culture. All right, so it's been a long day. Mom and I are kind of like just super exhausted and her allergies are killing her. So we're gonna head back to our Airbnb and relax. Maybe have a fire in the fire pit and drink some wine and go to sleep. So tomorrow we'll hopefully have a few more things for you before we head back to Bellingham. So we've been enjoying Auburn. It's kind of surprised us. We found more things here than we expected to. So and we've surprised some people that we've met that didn't know about all the things that you could find to do here in Auburn. So it's been fun finding these little hidden gems and sharing them with other people. This is Brook Hollow Lodge. There's the restroom. It's really cute. It has a great shower and a toilet. And then you can have a fire right here. Here's the beautiful marshland view all around. And then the best part, the tent.
Hi.
Say hi.
I've been glamping. I like it.
We've basically already used the tent, but here is a quick view. They had a little welcome with some food for us, and then an amazingly comfortable bed, and they even have a little stove in here. This is awesome, and we were perfectly warm last night, even though it got a little chilly, so we highly recommend coming to Brook Hollow. We love this place. And the hosts, Lisa and Dan, are the best part, honestly, of this place. I mean, the tent is super cool, and it's fun to be glamping in the middle of, city area, but they are wonderful. We spent quite a few hours chatting with them, and we think they're incredible. So come here and spend some time with Lisa and Dan, and they will, enchant you. And this is Lisa. She's incredible. Those are her dogs in there.
Barking their heads off.
She has some beautiful poodles.
They just like to hear this every
Yes, exactly.
standards too.
So thank you so much, Lisa. We had an amazing time, and we think you're the best, honestly. So, well, you and Dan, of course.
Thank you. That's awesome. Let us know when you're going to Lummi Island. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll go with you. Thank you. We completely forgot that today is Father's Day and that it was going to be super busy, so this place is crowded. The line was really long, but luckily, because there's only 2 of us, we were able to get past the line a bit. So let's see how it turns out. It looks like it's pretty popular. Okay, so we ordered the whole order of green chili omelet, which actually has 6 eggs in it. So he's like, that's best to share. A half order has 3 eggs, and that's still giant, but this thing is like, he gave us 2 plates so we can split it. And they're known for their banana bread, and you can actually buy this banana bread to take home with you. So hopefully that tastes amazing because everybody is getting it. And then we decided to get one of their homemade Marionberry muffins. But the service has been incredible. Mom's having fun playing Pokemon Go, and we're just having a good time here eating breakfast.
Amy is trying this yummy looking banana bread. Ooh. Good stuff.
Okay, so Mom and I ate our food, and this is still what we have left over afterwards. We've got pretty much a whole omelet and a whole order of hash browns. We both ate that one from that one serving, and we're so full. The server snagged us the last loaf because he's awesome, and we wanted to get one for when Chelle and Nathaniel visit, and apparently he says we gotta hide it or else we'll get tackled for it, so this is awesome. So we just love this place. We love the service here. Mom wants to move this place closer to home.
I asked them to see if they could get a spaceship and just pick the whole building up and drop it near Bellingham. He said he'll check with management.
All right, so we loved Sunbreak Cafe. Honestly, that was the best food place of the trip. We loved everything about the meal, and the server was fantastic.
The servings were outrageous. I mean, I've not been to a restaurant. We can get 4 meals out of 1 serving. We have enough to take home that we're actually gonna feed 4 with it.
With that.
Chelle and Nathaniel are gonna come, and we're gonna feed them, and Amy's gonna make a hash. Can't wait. Sorry. Stop it. I'm not weird. I'm cute.
You're weird. All right. So now we're going to head over to the Auburn Environmental Park, and it should be, we're not really exactly sure what it is.
It's a park. It's environmental. Let's see.
If we have time, we might try to hit the White River Valley Museum, which is open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 4. But I kind of want to give you an idea of some of the other things you could do here in Auburn if you come. Like I said, it's more of a commuter town, so it seems like you wouldn't find too many touristy things to do here. A lot of people we've talked to about Auburn have been kind of surprised that there are things to do here that are touristy, but there are things. So there's a place called Flaming Geyser State Park. They have a geyser. Apparently somebody said now it's more of a trickle, and that's or a gurgle. A gurgle. She called it a gurgle, and that was because the methane that was under the ground that helped the geyser blow
Flame
has been running out. But they have all the information on the history of the park there, and they said it's a really nice place to hang out. So if you just want a nice park to go run around in, that sounds like a good choice. Then there is also the Muckleshoot Casino. If you're really into casinos, the Muckleshoot tribe is local, and they have a giant casino, which I've heard of, so it must be a decent sized one. And then if you're into horse racing, there's Emerald Downs horse racing. And then there's also a brewery which we had planned on going to, but we were so tired last night we kind of decided not to, and it's called Rail Hop and Brewing Company. And they're open pretty late until like 11. They do beers, of course their beers, and then also they do some appetizers. So it's not really a dinner place, it's more of just a brewery. I think as far as things I have found, there's other parks, and there you could definitely walk down Main Street, which we didn't actually get a chance to do, we just drove down Main Street. They also have a theater, which they're playing right now Mamma Mia in, so sounds like they have some good shows. And I imagine there's a lot of thrift shops and little stores that you could check out in Auburn. We just did not have the time to do them all. So, if you get a chance, come on down here. You could take the train. We're right next to the train station. You could take the train down to Auburn and spend a day doing some of the things we have done or some of the things that I've suggested. On to the environmental park, and we'll see what else we can fit in before we have to head back. All right, here's the Auburn Environmental Park. And it looks like there's a little informational booth about the walk around the boardwalk trail. So here's the map. We are here. And it doesn't look like it goes too far, but there's a birding tower, a meadow, some buttercup fields. So let's check it out.
It's 0.23 miles each way, so that's easy.
Okay. So mom will be able to handle this hike a bit. All right, let's go check it out. Oops. This area, because it was wetlands, used to actually get completely submerged underwater. And in order to do farming in this area, they started building ditches to try to drain the wetlands. And so when they did that, they began growing hops, which was the main crop in this area until 1891. There was a disease that completely eradicated the hops farms out here. So then after that, they started doing potatoes. And it looks like the nice thing now is that Auburn is trying to restore some of the wetland, so the local native flora and fauna actually have a habitat here as opposed to being completely wiped out for farmland.
Wow, it's incredible how much invasive plants are here, making the wetlands not suitable for fish and animals.
And the other plants, the native ones.
And native
plants. So buttercups and reed canary grass. The reed canary grass looks like it's taken over where all the buttercups would be. So that's kind of like one invasive species that's taken over the other invasive species.
That's funny.
They're hoping that the cattails would take over, but it looks to me like mostly there are some cattails back there. I can see them. They're a little taller than the reed canary grass, but most of this is reed canary grass right here. So granted, this is actually a really small environmental park, but they did a really good job with it. It's very well maintained. They have some picnic benches and they have a nice area where you can bird if you are a birder. And then of course along the path they have a lot of really great informational signage, which will explain to you a lot more about wetlands, which would be a kind of a nice thing to take your kids here too and explain to them the importance of these lands and why they should be protected and preserved. So if you want to come take a nice little jaunt along a pretty walkway where there's not too many people,
especially after a big breakfast.
Yes, that was a very big breakfast. So if you want to come work off your breakfast after you've eaten over at Sunbreak Cafe, come check out the environmental park. I think that it's really small but very worth seeing.
Yeah, your children can easily walk along here, and it's just a nice walk. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much for joining us. We had a good time this weekend. I was a little bummed that my work training got canceled, so the silver lining in not being able to do my training was that we got to go to the Botanical Gardens, and that was one of the highlights, I think, of the trip too.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video or you want to know more about the Pacific Northwest, especially small places like this that nobody really thinks of as touristy, then subscribe to my channel, because I definitely like to find little... It looks like you're picking your nose. Subscribe to my channel because I like to find the places that you wouldn't think are travel worthy. And click that notification button so you know the next time a video comes out. Come with us on our next big adventure, and thank you for joining us on this one. We had a good time and we hope you did too. Bye.
Bye.